the Tenderloin. Captain Garrity, even though he ended as Commander Garrity, I'll always know him as Captain Garrity. And 20 years ago is when I first got to encounter Marvis. And the reason I got to encounter him at that early stage was I was trying to open our first little bar on Geary Street here in the Tenderloin. And I went to Captain Garrity, a fellow Irishman, and I said, some of these neighbors are telling me that they don't want any more bars in the Tenderloin. He said, yeah, there are too many bars and too many reckless saloon keepers. I said, well, I'm not one of those. And he goes, well, you're going to have to go prove it to Marvis and the Nutty Brothers. So I made an appointment. I made my presentation at the community meeting, and it was announced by Michael Nutty that Marvis was in charge of licensing for the district. And Marvis pulled out his page, and he had about 50 questions on there that I had to answer, and I was very impressed. He had some serious questions. So I wasn't prepared for those questions. I stumbled, I fell over, and I left the room with my tail between my legs. And I think it was about 6 months later, we got another opportunity to present in front of Marvis as the leader of that committee. And by then, we had done our community outreach. We met with other operators in the district, other business owners, and all of them said the same thing. If you're going to be in the bar business in the Tenderloin, you've got to respect your neighbors. You have to know who your neighbors are, and you have to know who the local community leaders are. And that's what I learned from Marvis. So when we came back 6 months later, Dennis Isner was there, Michael and John were there, and Marvis. And we made the presentation, and he didn't have to ask any questions that time because he had prepared us. So years went by, we opened a second business in the Tenderloin and a third business in the Tenderloin, and by then we had proven that we were not reckless saloon keepers. We were, respectful neighborhood saloon keepers, and we added something positive to the Tenderloin. So Marvis appreciated that, and then in later years, people would go to make their presentation at these various community meetings, and Marvis would have his page of questions for them, and just like me, they would stumble if they hadn't prepared. And at the end of their stumble, he would say, you need to go talk to Brian Sheehy at Future Bars. He went through this and he figured it out. So to this day, I get people contacting me asking, how do you prepare to present to Marvis and the Nutty Brothers? I said, well, here's how you do it. So he really taught me as a business operator in the world of saloon keeping, how to be respectful of neighbors, how to not take them for granted, and not be just focused on the four walls of your little business, but you've got to be a part of the neighborhood. So because of Marvis's ability to have his research done and him being a protector of the neighborhood, almost like a mini mayor, he really helped us to become much more successful business operators, and we've survived through all those years. And Captain Garrity just told me that he has known Marvis for 40 years, well, I only got to know him for 20 years, but he really made a positive contribution to my life and in general to the entertainment and respectful and non-reckless entertainment in the Tenderloin. So we're going to miss him. Thank you, guys.